Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I really want to talk about what is the future of Islam in America. Basically, what is really the future of Salafi Dawah in America? What's going to be its future when there is no educational or academic plan? And the definition or my definition or usage of the word education, it is specific and it's general. It's in particular when we're going to speak about Islamic education, Islamic curriculum, or Islamic academics, along with general education. And the reason why I'm mentioning what is going to be the future of Islam in America, in particular with the Salafi Dawah, right? In this particular video, I want to talk about the Salafi community and the Salafi Dawah in the US. What is the future of Islam in the West with the Salafi Dawah or the Salafi Dawah future? When I don't see from a certain group, or I don't see from the Salafi community collectively a real solid Islamic educational plan and a general educational plan. And I don't see any collaboration between Salafis in America. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال في كتابه واعتصموا حبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. Allah say in the Quran, hold on, all of you together to the rope of Allah, right? And do not separate. So collectively, I'm talking to the Salafi community in the West. Collectively, I see individuals doing their own thing. I see certain Islamic Salafi organizations doing their own thing. But I don't see a collective discussion or collective effort on educating the mass in their community with a proper Islamic education and a general education. I don't see nothing collective. What I do see is individuals taking on certain matters of educating their people or educating their community. So in one part of my discussion is what is the actual education that is needed, and when collectively as a community, the Salafi community are going to sit down collectively with its tulab, suyuk, du'at, and talk about what is the collective goal of the Salafi community related to Islamic education for its mass followers and also general education. Because what's going on now in America in the Salafi community, the Salafis in America, the followers of Salafi Dawah, are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And when it comes to al-mas'uliyah, when it comes to the responsibility related to the things or Islamic subjects, educational subjects or Islamic sciences, it's not being preserved by the Salafi community in the US. When it comes to Islamic sciences, Islamic education, fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, Arabic language, Quran, and the remaining sciences in Islam, and things pertaining to usuluddin amongst the Salafis in America, it's not being preserved. Might have individuals taken on the task of doing these things, but collectively as a community, I don't see anything there. Tafarraqu. All I see is people dividing or division. That's all I see. I don't see a collective discussion, let alone individuals might be doing things, but collectively, the mark is being missed. Allah saying in Quran, وَلَا تُكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ تُفَرَّقُوا وَاخْتَلَفُوا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَنْ جَاءَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتُ وَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. Right? And Allah said, لَا تُكُونُوا, do not be like those who divide, separate. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran is telling us, do not be like those who divide. You know, I'm blind without my glasses. So there, I don't see any collective amongst the Salafis. Rather yet, what Allah say not to do not be divided. Well, amongst the Salafis in America, they are divided. They're not like, for example, if I was to go to Saudi, the Salafis are together. If I go to Egypt, the Salafi, meaning the Shuyuk and Tulab they are together. If I go to Southeast Asia, the Salafis are together. My last trip outside of US was Indonesia. My last trip. May Allah make it easy for me to travel again. I mean, my last trip was to Indonesia. And in Indonesia, the Salafi community in Indonesia, they have different du'at amongst the Salafis in Indonesia who study with the Mashaykh in Jordan, who study with the Kibar Ulama, meaning coming from the Islamic universities in Saudi Arabia. I met some of the callers in Tulab in Indonesia who come out of Damaj, right? So I met some who came out of Damaj. I met some who came out of Islamic universities in Saudi or studied with the Mashaykh in Saudi, and I met those who studied with the Jordanian Mashaykh. You know what? In Indonesia, all these Salafis who study with these three different areas, they are all together in Indonesia. They are all together. I went to Indonesia, I see all of them together giving dawah and educating and building their Islamic institutions for learning. It's there, and they're all there working together. They're all there calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But within America, the Salafis are not together. They're not together collectively. Maybe certain pockets, certain groups, certain camps are doing things collectively as their group, but as the whole body of the Salafi community, they're not together. And we have the biggest issue that we have, as any Muslims have in this country, that we as Muslims first are in a non-Muslim country. And it's necessary that the Muslims be together, because the majority in this country are from kufr and shirk. And when I look into the Muslim community altogether, there's a lot of issues going on in the Muslim community. When I look into the Salafi community, there's a lot of issues going on with people who are claiming to be Salafi, but they don't have knowledge of the religion. But they're going to say every day, Anna Salafi. Anna Salafi. Huwa laysa Salafi. Anna Salafi. Anna Salafi Haqiq. Wa andum al-ilm. But he's without knowledge. Doesn't have any knowledge. Doesn't have a knowledge of the Arabic language. He doesn't have knowledge of Quran. He doesn't have knowledge of Hadith. He doesn't have knowledge of Tafsir. إذا أنت بدون اللغة, if you're without the Arabic language, then you're not going to understand Quran and be not able to preserve it. العربية الوسيلة إلى العلم. Arabic language is wasila ila al-Quran wa sunnah. Yani fahim al-Quran wa fahim al-sunnah. The Arabic language is the means to understand the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa la yafham illa bi lugha arabiyya. And you don't understand, you won't be able to understand these things, Quran and sunnah, except with the Arabic language. But that person is going to say all day, Ana Salafi. He's going to say all day, he's Salafi. Wa haqiq. But in reality, how are you going to be on the methodology of the Salaf or the madhahib of the Salaf and you don't know Arabic language and you cannot connect to the Quran and you cannot connect to the Sunnah and you cannot connect to the Hadith, which is all recorded in the Arabic language? Then we have tafarruq. On top of that, we have the different groups and the division and the different groups. And we don't have in the community a plan, a solid curriculum, a solid syllabus for Islamic education. We don't even have a committee of tulab or a committee of shuyukh for fatwa. We don't even have a committee that deals with the social structure in America. There's many things going on in the US right now. From economics, from social things like homosexuality being spread everywhere in American curriculum in schools. And it is pushed on kids. But we find from the Salafis don't even have Islamic schools, except for a few. And then they have no education or no plan for Islamic education or curriculum. It did do to go against the fahisha coming from the disbelievers in their school system and in their society. But we have more division. And we have many Americans in America, Salafis in America, running around talking about, I'm Salafi, I'm Salafi, I'm Salafi, and have no connection to the Book of Allah, have no connection to Islamic knowledge. They don't even know where to begin. Only thing they have is translation, this translator, that personality is translating this book for them. This personality really translating a nabda fi an excerpt into certain knowledge or topic or article from a scholar, but does not explain that particular subject fasilan. He does not translate that particular topic all together in details. That's a nabda fi hadha, nabda fi hunak, nabda fi fiqh, nabda fi aqidah, nabda fi hadha wa hadha wa hadha. Wa kullu hadha tarjama lahu. And all of these things are translated for him, which means that he doesn't have an asas, that person who's learning. He doesn't have an asas in anything. Will we say a jack of all trades is the master of none? He gets a little nubda in this and that and that and that and that and that, but never learned the asas in none of these subjects. On top of that, don't know Arabic language. Then we have new faces in the dawah, and it's continuing the same method of teaching from the past that is not working. Focusing on translations, then نبدأ في ترجمة. نبدأ في فن. ليس تفصيلا في أي حدود or في أي فن. There's no detailed explanations of particular subjects in and out. That's nabda. Excerpt in this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, meaning no sifr. He knows nothing. Knows nothing. How long this is going to go on? We already have like almost maybe 2 or 3 generations with Muslims, especially the Salafis, learning like this. Than the Muslims in general in America. But the reason why أنا إشارة إلى السلفيين, the reason why I'm pointing at the Salafis, because the Salafi, haqiqan, the real Salafi, he knows the reality of learning this deen. He knows the importance of learning the deen the correct way. He knows the importance of learning the deen the correct way. That's through its sciences and fields that were prompted up by our scholars of the past for spreading and implementing the religion. And it works. But we want to skip out of the education part, the deeply learning part of the religion, through its proper fields and subjects. We want to skip out from the learning. We want to skip Arabic. We skip Arabic, but we want to get fatwa. We skip Arabic, but we want to refute people. And the deen is in Arabic. These subjects are taught in Arabic. And whatever you haven't translated into the English language or whatever language, it's nowhere close to the actual information in Arabic of the religion. English is not a substitute for Arabic. I don't care. English language is not a substitute for the Quran. English language is not a substitute to the Arabic language. English language is not a substitute to the hadith or the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is where we're going to go. Islamic education in America. What are our goals collectively, not individuals? Because this needs to be a collective effort. And if you see that there is no collective effort on the Muslims, especially the Salafis, no collective effort on them, then it shows the lack of sincerity of some people. I can't say all. It shows the lack of sincerity for some people. And then for those who have knowledge, who do know, who are trying to work collectively, then the ones who claim they know was not trying to work collectively. It shows that the one who's not trying to work collectively with other Salafis, that they have some major issues, meaning some hidden agendas or a defect in their understanding of the religion, or they're not sincere, or they are straight up his group, as Allah described them. Be not like those who tafarraqu. لا تكون كالذين تفرقوا. Do not be like those who deviate, or fall into a group who separate themselves. This is going to be real talk. America right now, are transitions in America, politics, government, society, that is going to destroy, is going to devour many people in this country, and that includes the Salafi. See, a lot of Muslims think because we're a Muslim, or I put this label Salafi, that I cannot get taken out by this society, or you could get taken out from this society. I shared yesterday with one of the associates on YouTube, another YouTuber, here on YouTube, I share with him an African American sister in Philadelphia, full hijab with her lesbian lover, right there in Philadelphia. I share them this sister's post taking pictures with her gay lesbian lover. And she's in hijab, and the lesbian lover is like a dude with dreads. This is Philly. This is Philadelphia right here. Easily taken out. And this society would easily take out the people. It would take the people out. So that Philly, where's the most Salafis in America? Philadelphia got the most Salafis, most Muslims in Philadelphia. That's facts. Most Salafi communities. That's a fact. They have a lot of brothers who study Deen. That's a fact. But they're divided. And I go to Philadelphia, amongst the Muslims in Philadelphia, have the most, from the most ignorami or ignoramuses I have met from the Muslims in Philadelphia. And you would think that the people there, the laymen or the lay people there, will have more connections to people who have knowledge. In reality, it's not that, because the correct Islamic curriculum is not in place. You think this society won't take you out? I don't care how much you label yourself Salafi. If you don't have knowledge, this society would take you out. Another Facebook post. Facebook right now, since that LBGQTI stuff been going hard in America, you know how many Muslims I met on Facebook who came out the closet? Every day you see them talking about Islam. Then when one day I seen this other brother come out with his gay lover. I was like, oh, billah. He always looked suspect to me. Came out with his gay lover, made a video. This is his lover. Your love is not biased. Some statement he said like this. Man, this society, what this society is heading to, is going to take out a lot of people. It's going to take out a lot of people in this society. And it's not like an epidemic where there is a disease, where wherever the disease hit people and it takes them out, this is going to be worse than that. Because the disease, even though you can't see the disease, you see the effect of the disease on the people. So a person will guard himself, right? He will guard himself to try to prevent himself from catching the disease. This political stuff that's going on in America is going to take people out, and people don't see it coming. People say, well, that's not me. We don't have that lifestyle. But their children are in public school. So their children are going to get fed that stuff. And if you turn around and say, well, I'm going to teach my kids Islam, I'm going to teach them this is wrong, your children spend more hours in school than with you. So he's going to get indoctrinated. Your kids spend more hours in school than with their parents. The teachers in the school have more influence over your children than you because they spend more time with them. That's a fact. That's facts. The one who spends more time with your children, and it's not individual teacher, it's the whole school curriculum. So every teacher now, you only have two parents in the house. In the school, how many different teachers your children will have in school during the day? And all of them have the same goal. Then they have specialists for this stuff in school who knows how to teach it in school and how to put it in the curriculum. And then the Salafi who supposed to know, understanding that this minhaj Salaf is, it's not على اللسان بس ينطق بس ينطق فقط أنا السلفي لا سلفية ليس هكذا لا ينطق على اللسان بس. It's not just saying it on the tongue. It's man having ilm and action. It's about having deep knowledge of the deen. And you ain't going to get that with no translated or a few translated books here and there. And I just put the gutra on and jalabiya on, or the sister put the hijab on, and I got it. I got it on lock. You know how many sisters in hijab and niqab, I hear them talking feminist ideas? You know how many sisters in hijab and niqab who claim Salafi are feminist? You know how many sisters wear hijab and niqab claiming Salafi and they're masculine? If you have the Salafi community now, the African American Salafi community on YouTube, talking about black sisters' behavior, going to court for child support, and don't care about what Islamic law say, if you think that's a problem, oh, it's going to get worse. So you're showing the symptoms of the society changing and affecting the Salafis and the Muslims. When you talk about sisters going to family court and getting what Islam doesn't legislate for her, and she don't care. You're only talking about the symptoms of what's going on. It's actually worse than what you think. And a lot of your brothers and sisters, a lot of the brothers are not prepared for this. A lot of the brothers are not prepared for this and don't know how to prepare the people in their community for this, and don't know the ideas or have the sense that we need the right curriculum. This ain't like 10 years ago, man, when Abu Muslima, Abu Osama Dhahabi, and Dawood D was popping. We ain't in QSS back in the days. We no longer in them eras. The Kufar society is changing rapidly, and it is taking Muslims out. I don't care how much you say those Salafi slogans, they're even getting taken out. Your women are getting taken out. You know how many Salafi sisters I see on Facebook playing music and talking about their Salafi? You know how many Salafi sisters I see on Facebook? Is the window into the dysfunction that's going on in the Salafi community and homes of Salafi people. And the women are exposing it on social media. You go to Facebook, how many sisters in niqab in the club I see on Facebook? How many sisters I see in niqab claiming Salafi, especially from Philly and stuff? East Coast, because Philly is not just restricted to Philly. East Coast and other places, Atlanta, I see dancing to the latest song and trend. What's this? Got this new song from Beyonce. You know how many Salafi sisters I see doing these videos on TikTok and stuff? And they Salafi. Some of them even born Muslim or born into the Salafi dawah, meaning born in Muslim, they family, mother and father Salafi. You know how many sisters I see doing this? And you know how many brothers I see in their comment box or clicking like to these videos and they claim to be Salafi or Muslim. And they have no shame, and these videos are getting thousands of views. And then the callers of Salafiyyah, some of the callers of Salafiyyah, you guys are still fighting over followers. You're fighting other groups and other individuals for followers. And y'all losing your whole community. All you guys are losing your whole community. Somebody posted this the other day. I'm gonna see. This is from the Salafi SP followers in Philly, right? I want to post this real quick. I want to post a screenshot of something. I seen one of them post this, man. I really want to upload it. I want to upload it. It's gonna be a little. It's a screenshot. I'm gonna look for it real quick about marriage. It's upload. I want to show this. This is Germantown and them click. They're cruel. Let me show you how deep the dysfunction is. See, we see the symptoms, but we don't see how far the dysfunction is. I want to put this screenshot. Right? This is from the SP, Philly, East Coast. East Coast. Right? Advice to the Muslims regarding those who put themselves forward as marital advisor, couples counselors, or life coaches. Right? When I seen this, I was like, this post exposes what's going on in the community. See, posts like this exposes what's going on in their community, right? So it says advice to the Muslims regarding those who put themselves forward as marital advisor or couples counselors or life coach. We have noticed an increase in people, both men and women, putting themselves forward as advisors or counselors, especially in the affairs of marriage and family matters. Perhaps they were charging for their services. These type of affairs should be I can't even see that word. I think it's regarded, should be regarded or releged. I can't see that word. I'm sorry. To the students of knowledge, meaning it should be sent to the students of knowledge. As there is points wherein the affairs of family relations connect with matters of deen. We advise our brothers and sisters stop going to such people, as there is no shortage of lectures and classes from our Salafi du'at and students on marriage and family matters. If you're in need of counseling, then contact your local Salafi masjid. I know masjid has an Aqidah now. Or services like family tree counseling service ran by our brother Abu Adam Finch, right? So this right here, I want to take it down. And that word was regulated. I see it now, regulated. So this gives a glimpse into their community. It means that if there are a lot of people in it going to marriage counselors and stuff for advice, that means that they not getting what they need for their dysfunction or family problems or nushuz, we call it marital discord. You're not getting the solutions or the help from the Muslim community. Then I have to be, I've got to put the thinking cap on. Well, why would they go to marriage counselors and coaches for marriage counseling and not go to the du'at as it described in this post? Why not would not go to the du'at, instead go to the counselors? Why? Because maybe people are tired that when they go to the du'at for marriage counseling, sooner or later after marriage counseling, you still end up divorced. And the ones giving the counseling, your wife end up being his wife or one of his friends' wives. That's why people don't go to you guys for marriage counseling. Let's be real, man. That's why the Muslims are not going to these so-called du'ats of the Salafi masjids. Why they're not going to you guys for marriage counseling? Because they've already seen the dysfunction in the community where people go to you guys for marriage counseling, end up divorced, And a few months later, the same guy giving you marriage counseling now is married to your ex-wife, or one of his best friends is married to your wife. Or the next scenario, you're the things that they're arguing and fighting about, or they have disagreements about in their marriage, that the du'at has no connection to what they're talking about, because they have no connection to the social dysfunctions that are going on in America, in the communities where they live. They're distant from understanding what people are going through because they can't relate with them. And they're going to them for counseling and nothing's getting resolved. Rather yet, they still are getting to more problems and more marital problems. Then you guys, on top of it, you have no studies. Some of you have no Islamic studies at all. Some of you do have some Islamic studies, right? But when you open up thick books on nushuz and talaq and khulla and usra, what is going to tell you in these books? A fiqh, and you study in a university, is going to tell you what is permissible, what is not permissible. What are the different opinions on this issues related to what is permissible, what is not permissible? What is a valid marriage, what is not a valid marriage? What is talaq? What is not talaq? Right? When the shoes, the usr of the shoes, the usr of the marital problem, this and this and that, or this and this and that. But some of the nushuz issues, marital issues, might be because of some social issue that the people all face in the community, but you don't understand what social issues are going on. You yourself, they themselves don't have no understanding of social sciences and the society they're living for. So they were studying fiqh overseas, which no problem with this, but those social issues overseas in the Muslim countries, the scholars understand their social issues. See, you have to remember the scholars in a Muslim country just don't study Islam alone. They study social and political things related to Islam and related to their peoples of their nationalities. They study the social issues going on for their peoples in their society, coming from an Islamic perspective. But the African American du'at, as they describe here, anything related to pertaining to social issues for black people or people in their community, they don't have a clue what about it. They're gonna go off of some of the social issues that they see the Mashaykh talk about in the Arab countries related to Arabs, and the social issues of Arabs are not the same social issues of people in America. We don't live in the same societies. So that's why they might be going to marriage counselors who understand social issues. That's why they might go to a marriage counselor who is a psychologist, got their PhD, understand social issues that might cause people to have problems, or they might go to the marriage counselor who degrees in psychology and understand mental health and might see that one of the couples might suffer from something, a mental health issue, might be bipolar, might have schizophrenia, which you, the dua or the da'i in the masjid, don't know the symptoms or the signs of mental health or bipolar or just or schizophrenia or anxiety or depression or education or a handicap, mentally handicapped. You might not know none of the symptoms and signs of this. Might be some of the cause of the marital problems or some of the social issues or the bad thinking that people have. You're not equipped for this stuff. You're only equipped for fiqh. This permissible, that's not permissible. It's that issue, ikhtilaf. This issue or this ikhtilaf. Imam Malik says this. Imam Ahmed says this. Not knowing that the person you're talking to in America might have bipolar. That's why they go into the marriage counselor. If there are a psychologist, because all marriage counselors are not psychologists or therapists. That's why they might go say, I'm gonna go to the therapist. I know a sister went to the imam. Her husband got problems. The imam is not working. None of the advice is working. The sister told me the man's problem. I was sitting talking to her. I'm like, because she seen one of my videos. I said, your sister, go to a therapist. Your husband sound like he has mental health issue, might be suffering from depression. Tell him you need to go to a marriage counselor who's a therapist because your husband sounds like he's suffering from depression. So the imam in the masjid, he has some of them, not all of them, but in the Salafi community, a lot of them, from the SP people, Salafi peoples, don't understand, can't recognize when somebody is suffering from mental health issue unless he study these issues. So that's why I'm going to open the door. I'm opening the door. What's going to be the Islamic curriculum for the future and general education, academics for the Muslims? We can't be living in America and no one wants to study no social science that people are facing. All social science is not kufr. Within every social science, there's kufr in it, and it is something that we could take out. There's kufr in it and something from it that we could use, take out of it and use. And if you don't believe me, then when we go to even the books of fiqh, right? The books of fiqh, the Islamic books of Islamic things, every book of fiqh or every Islamic book that is taught doesn't mean that that scholar never had any issues or in Aqidah or made mistakes or had any issues in Aqidah. So when we go to a scholar, for example, a book related to fiqh or usul fiqh, the scholar might be in a deviant. But you'll find the Salafi Sheikh still using the book, but all his mistakes, take it out, explain it. That's some error. That's an error. No majaz fi Quran. You're going to hear this from usul fiqh, right? And usul fiqh, right? Because the founders of usul fiqh who written the books, a lot of them were from the Mu'tazila and had issues in Aqidah. So they believe in majaz fi Quran. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say there's no majaz in the Quran. So when you read a book of usul fiqh, you're going to be saying majaz. The scholar who's Salaf is going to say there's no majaz when it comes to Quran. So that means that even from the deviant person, you extract what is good and beneficial, and the scholar leaves off. I'm not talking to laymen right now. Talk about somebody who's a scholar in Islam. So some of you brothers, some of these social sciences, you're gonna have to know. You guys are gonna have to learn, study mental health. You're gonna have to study mental health. A lot of people in our community suffer from mental health. The society that we live in today, socially, things are going on, cause people to have mental health, cause people who are sane, has no history of mental health, or no one in his family has an issue of mental health. The society that we live in today, under the stress and the conditions we live in today, will cause people to have mental health issues. So you're going to have to study some of these things and then have to derive this right here is not permissible, that here is not correct, but this and this and that. From there, we could use it. It gives you a little understanding of that field or understanding of a person condition or mental health condition. And then we have even in the Muslim world where they study also those social sciences and make it Islamic, meaning they have their scholars go through and see this is usable, that's not usable. That's against the Sharia, that's for the Sharia. So we have to talk about what's going to be the future of Islam in America. What's the future of Islamic education, especially with the Salafi community? One, we're not even teaching deen properly. And the Salafis are not learning deen. I don't care what anybody say. A lot of the Salafis in America are not learning deen because they're not learning Arabic language. And you can't understand Quran without Arabic language. And you still have Salafis in America running around saying Arabic language is not important. It's not far for them to learn Arabic language. And these are the same people who got all the issues. These are the same people who fall into all these issues because they don't have knowledge. And then the people in the community they're running to learn from, they're not emphasizing none of these things. So how long are we going to keep up this charade? Then on top of that, we're not working together. Let's be real. In some states, in some communities, you guys, we're not even living together. So a real conversation going to have to start where people are going to start talking about, hey, how do we get from point A to point B? They're gonna have to be sacrifices to be made. You can't talk about, yo, I'm Salafi, man. You dudes ain't trying to make no sacrifice. What do you think the Sahaba went through in the Tabi'in? You didn't read the seerah of the companions? You don't see what type of sacrifices they had to go through? They had to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of trials and tested with their religion. Just for them to have success, and their success is our success. Their success, their struggles, and their success through their struggles, we're benefiting from it. We're benefit. Now, how you think we're not going to go through any hardship? You don't want to go through no hardship to learn the deen? You mean you don't want to struggle to learn deen? Oh, it's hard. It's not important. Put it off. It's not important. When you don't see the importance, when you see people are neglecting some Islamic issues, when people start neglecting Islamic issues, it's because they don't see the importance of it. When people are neglecting their obligations and things they must learn about the deen because they don't see the importance of it. It could be because they're lazy. Lazy is not an excuse. Meaning if you're lazy about it, meaning you don't see the importance. Oh, I don't have the time to learn it. Then that means that you don't see it as important. And because you don't see it as important, growth is an action to knowledge. Say it again. Growth could also mean production is a reaction to knowledge. So if you don't have growth in your community or you're not growing in your deen, because it's the lack of the knowledge. The lack of knowledge leads to the lack of production. So all the things we see going on dysfunction in our community is because the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding the importance of things. That's why I say the Salafis in America are not like the Salafis in the Muslim world. And I'm not talking about these Arab countries that got big shuyuk in it. I'm talking about the non-Arabic speaking countries that have Salafis in it. Man, they have decent communities. People are learning deen. They don't have as much issues that we have in here in America. And when I look and compare, we'll say someone could say, somebody muntazim, mashallah, he might say, يعني يا أخي نحن نسكن في بلاد كافرين ودار كفر. We live in a non-Islamic country. So this is why. No. Where I go to Salafis in Nigeria. Nigeria is not a Muslim country. It's half Muslims, half Christian. Nigeria is half Muslim, half Christian. I go to Nigeria. I look at Salafis in Nigeria. They understand Arabic language. I go to Salafis in Nigeria. They understand Arabic language. I have many videos on YouTube of shuyukh who go to Nigeria, shuyukh from Arab countries who go to Nigeria, Salafi Sheikh. I have videos on my Facebook page, and they're giving durus, and there's no translation. No translation. They're giving durus in Arabiya, and there's no translation. The Arab Sheikh giving durus in Nigeria. I have a lot of videos on Facebook from Nigeria. When the shuyukh go to Nigeria, to the Salafi communities, and they're giving durus, there's no translation. Everybody there sitting from the Nigerians understand Arabic language. And Nigeria been colonialized and all that stuff. Nigeria got all type of problems in Nigeria, but the Salafis there still understand Arabic language, still study, which is part of Islamic sciences and studying Islamic sciences. And Nigeria is not a Muslim country, straight up. America have more money and more wealth than Nigeria. Our Salafis in America have more access to wealth and money than Muslims in Nigeria or Salafis in Nigeria. We have more access to wealth to do these things, and we're not doing them. It's because the lack of knowledge leads to the lack of production. No knowledge, no growth. No knowledge, no growth. And we have access to wealth, but we're not doing these things because the niyat, intentions are messed up. The comprehension is not there. And the so-called du'at and personalities, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, وَاعْتَصِمُوا حَبْلَ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. We don't understand this. We're not practicing this. We're not practicing this. That's why. We're not practicing this. Then Allah said, لَا تُكُونَ كَالَّذِينَ تُفَرَّقُوا. Then Allah said, do not be like those who break off into section groups. You might have individuals who are handling their business. You might have individuals who's teaching. But even the individual who's trying to do the right thing, still going to fall on you also. Because people in your community are going between you and other personalities who might not be with you or agree with you, right? So your followers might be with him, you, and there, back and forth, and this and that. And they're going to have to come back to us. What are we teaching? We need to have a curriculum. We have to have an Islamic academic curriculum and a general curriculum. This I highlighted this thing from the brother right here. He said we Muslims are in trouble. We don't read Quran. In America, Muslims don't have the revert or convert community. We lack Quran. We lack it. Even the Salafi community, I can't tell you a Salafi masjid that I know. I've been on the Salafi Dawah since early 2000. I haven't been to no Salafi masjid where they have continuous durus on the regular with memorizing the Quran. I haven't been to. I've been to Bangladeshis, masjids, Desi masjids, Arab masjids, hardcore Hanafi masjids, where they have durus and schools just for Quran. Really see the Salafi community, really a continuous or real program for Quran from the Black Americans or the convert community of the Salafis. And a person from them must want to learn Quran. They have to go on their own efforts. They got to go search for these things. And a lot of times it's not in their community. They got to go outside their community to search for that. Or the people who they're refuting and calling them deviant, they're the ones who's actually teaching it in their masjids. On the consistent. I'm not talking about for a course here and there. I'm talking about consistent. New York, right here. I don't know. No Salafi masjid in New York has consistent Quran program. And the Salafi masjid in New York ain't ran by blacks either. Majority of them are not ran by African Americans. Even them, they don't have not consistent with Quran. And definitely not consistent with Arabic language or Quran. It's like you got to go outside the community, their community, to find Quran. A Quran lesson that is consistent. Because the people in the community are not asking for it. I remember it was one Salafi masjid many years ago. Akhru Quran was Sunnah. I had this Egyptian sheikh who was a Quran teacher for Ramadan, a reciter for Ramadan. It was a Quran teacher. And one day I was there with him and was talking, right? And the sheikh, he was around my age. He's like, he teaches Quran 5 days a week. He said, no one comes for the Quran. No one. And I said to him, I said, I just came from Egypt that time. I was like, they don't know the importance. Tell them in Arabic, they don't know the importance. It's not like that. A Muslim country where in the Muslim country, people are taught from childhood his Quran. Wahu Sagir. Because if you memorize something when you're small, it will stay with you as an adult. It will be part of your life. So we got to talk about curriculum, man. If we don't touch on these issues and work on it collectively, يعني في المستقبل, in the future, there's going to be a lot. We think there's problems now in the community now. It's going to be worse. 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 The ignorance is going to get worse. We have it where the people will say, you know, from the lay people, from us, they would say things like, focus on Saudi government all day long. That's going to be the new. That's going to be the new deen. Let's talk about Saudi all day. No learn religion. That's a new thing right now. Don't learn no deen, no fiqh, no aqidah, no lugha, no tafsir, no Quran. Just point out all the issues going on in Saudi right there. That's a new deen right now. That's a new deen in America right now. You got people got videos and lectures and talks for hours. No Quran, no hadith, nothing. It says pinpoint all the issues going on in Saudi's government right now. Look, Halloween. Look, they had this Halloween. This new deen. This is a new deen. It's a new deen now. People have no Taliban, no Quran, no Hadith, la shay'an, nothing. You have the other Muslims today here in the West. The other one, they following what's the guy? Andrew Tate, Muhammad Hijab. I'm like, Andrew Tate, this guy new Muslim. You've been Muslim 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Why are you following somebody new Shahada? We don't know يعني كيف يقرأ الفاتحة صحيحة في صلاة. لا يعرف أركان الصلاة أصلا أو أركان الوضوء ويعتقده العالم. كيف هو مسلم جديد. It says for the Muslim جديد يعني Allah saying Quran, I forgot the ayah in Arabic. It says they just submit. Iman hasn't entered their heart yet. They just submit. You're Muslim 20 years, 30 years, Andrew Tate. Iman even has not even entered the man's heart. You have no element in the deen. You have Muslim now. The whole, everything they do on social media is Andrew Tate this, Andrew Tate that, Andrew Tate got arrested. Oh, no. I'm like, yo, are you serious? You and half of you guys are born Muslim. You see where the stupidity and the lack of ilm, where it's leading the Muslims? It is honorable now. It is honorable now for the Muslim to be ignoramuses or ignorami. It is honorable to be ignorant Muslim. It is honorable on social media, Facebook, YouTube. It is honorable to be ignorant and bold with their ignorance. It's honorable thing. Home is not honorable. I was telling somebody yesterday on Facebook, was making two sisters. One made a video talking about music's halal. هي منتقبة فوق هذا. She is muntakiba. She's wearing niqab. And she's making videos, music and dancing, and have the full hijab. And sometimes her bookshelf, I can see the bookshelf, and on her bookshelf, you got books of the Sunnah on her bookshelf, and she's making videos dancing with music. And I tell her this is haram. And I gave her adillah, gave her the ayah in Quran. وتفسيرها من علماء الزمان. Then I gave her the hadith from Bukhari. That the Messenger of Allah said the people were trying to make in the last days, people were trying to make, كما قال Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that people in the last day will try to make fornication, khamr, I believe, and music halal. You know what she said to me? That's those people who listen to the bad music that make them do those things. And this woman is muntaqiba. Then I seen her whole bookshelf and all her live video. I seen a few books. These are the books of the Sunnah, and she's still jahil. She's jahila, yani. Then another one who said, Juma Mubarak, that it's halal permissible. And she read some website, some fatwa, right? And the fatwa, the person saying in the fatwa, she said this is a mufti from the UK. And she said she takes this as reliable Islamic source of information. This ignoramus. So I said to her, she read the fatwa, and the fatwa is saying this is the issue of bid'ah al-hasan. This is good bid'ah. And he gave the example. Well, Umar radiallahu anha says, ni'mati al-bid'ah, or ni'mat al-bid'ah. كما قال عمر رضي الله عنه عن صلاة تراويح. The person saying that when Umar said this, that it means this is bid'ah hasana related to Salat al-Tarawih. When Umar brought the people together, he said this is the proof that to say Juma Mubarak is permissible because it's a good bid'ah. And then these idiots had the nerve to say this is from the Salaf. These Bareilles, Deobandis from the UK, which she don't know. Right? Bareilles and Deobandis from the UK fatwa website, it appears to me to be. And I said to the sister, I said, you don't understand Arabic. You don't understand usulul fiqh. So I brought her those hadith that he mentioned. All right. I said the hadith related to ni'mat al-bid'ah. This is Umar radiallahu anhu. Hana ma'na al-lughawi. This mana is lughawi, linguistically, is the linguistic usage of the word, not the sharia usage of the word. And it can't be because there's sound hadith where the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yusalli fi salatu tarawih fi jama'. So I said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he prays salatu tarawih ahyanan jama', ahyanan ifrad, ahyanan in jama', and sometimes by himself. And when Umar radiallahu anhu doing this Khalifa, when he seen the people doing this, praying separately, he brought them together because this is something that the Prophet used to do, pray together. And it said bid'ah here, ni'mat al-bid'ah, means a good invention or innovation. It's the linguistic meaning of the word. And it can't be a bid'ah because the Prophet used to do it. And then you can't use the example of Salatul Tarawih, right? When she also said that praying, whether how many rakats you prayed. I said there's sound, there's proof for both positions on how many rakats to pray in Salatul Tarawih. There's proof from hadith. I said there's no hadith that say Juma Mubarak. هذا شاد في هذا fatwa. This is the issue, serious issue of that fatwa. You know what this jahila, this ignoramus say to me? Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. I said that's not a statement in fiqh or usulul fiqh. That's not an Islamic statement. That's not a statement of Islamic jurisprudence. Agree to disagree. I said that came from the Methodist Church in the 1700s when they was disagreeing about their texts of their Bible, which is not consistent. Our text is clear. This is how ignorant the Muslims are today on social media. Mixing up all type of principles, some of them not even Islamic. And they don't even understand usulul fiqh and don't understand and saying that, oh, that's her proof and this and this and that. I'm like, you are the muqallid. And then you don't respect knowledge. You don't respect ilm. And I brought you to clear evidence. And I'm like, y'all fatwa fishing for your hawat. You don't accept what's the clear evidence and proof. You're looking for people who's going to say will coincide or is in harmony or in agreement with your hawat, with your whims and your desires. This is not permissible in Islam. I got a new book coming out, inshallah. It's going to be in the book by Sheikh Fawzan. Hafidhullah. I said, sister, this is wrong. Wrong. And then the other one with the music, she tried to drop me a hadith that she don't understand in Arabic, which say that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam related to the music on Eid day where there's two girls who was singing. I think Muzarif or Muzara. I kept trying to think of the word. And Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said to her, get this instrument of shaitan away from the Prophet. These two little girls. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him to leave these girls alone. Then Aisha radiallahu anha escorted these little girls out. And the Prophet told Abu Bakr to leave them. It's their id. She said, this is permissible for music. I said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the hadith, if you understand Arabic language, and look at the hadith and look at different explanations from the ulama, which you don't know, I told the sister, you don't know. If you looked it up in Arabic and understood the language and understood Islamic sciences and fields, you will understand that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say music was permissible. He allowed it for these two girls, these children on Eid day. These children, first, they did not reach bulugh. They didn't reach puberty. Number one, they did not reach puberty. And he said it is their Eid day. Didn't say that it's permissible music. He allowed it for Eid and it's for children. Children. And this is also the explanation of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. These girls did not reach bulugh. Did not reach puberty. This is what we got on Facebook. These are the ignoramuses on Facebook trying to teach people religion, talking about deen. And then the sister saying all that, I'm looking at her, I see her maktaba. And back of her, where her music, she's making them. I'm like, yo, you have a maktaba here with all the books of the Sunnah, and you still don't get it. Yo, we need to have serious curriculum. We have to have a serious talk. What's going to be the future of the deen, man, in this country, man? And from an education, Islamic education, because what's going on, what's being taught, it's not good. It's not enough. It's not enough, and especially when you're not teaching collectively. Anywhere I go to the Muslim world. Even Nigeria has a fatwa, a committee of fatwa. Even have a committee. It's not a Muslim country. I go to Indonesia, they have their shuyukh. I go to Malaysia, that's a different country. A different situation in Malaysia. It's a wealthy country, and they are more on kitab and sunnah to a certain extent, right? But in the Muslim world, I see the scholars working together. When I see Salafis in the Muslim world, they're working together. In America, you guys are not working together. And because of this, all the Salafi followers are suffering. And that's why a new trend is going to come and take your followers. I'm not saying the trend is going to be good. It could be a trend of misguidance. It's going to take your followers. It's going to take your followers. It's going to snatch. And if you think, now I got hardcore followers, it's going to snatch up your kids. It's going to snatch up their kids. Because your kids are watching dysfunction in the community. Either the kids gonna get taken out by the dysfunction, or somebody else gonna come, a new trend gonna come along, and these kids gonna become adults and stuff. I'm like, yo, that stuff y'all guys are doing not working. I'm following these people. That's gonna happen. That's going to happen. And y'all don't have any communities together. Y'all all separated in Salafi community. You can't come together for even teaching purpose or curriculum. What type of curriculum needs to be taught? Islamic curriculum and general curriculum, educational curriculum, or general academics and Islamic academics that need to deal with religious issues and social issues. We can't be running around, you know how many people, we can't be running around and people still don't understand deen and don't understand dunya. I'm gonna end on this note. We can't be running around when people don't understand deen and don't understand dunya. I think it's Imam Shafi'i, Imam Shafi'i, or Aqwal Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah. Imam Shafi'i, what is attributed to Imam Shafi'i, he said, من يرد الدنيا فلي بهم ومن يرد آخرة فلي بهم. He said, whoever needs the dunya, he does it with knowledge. And whoever needs the akhirah, he does it with knowledge. We are not collectively doing these things in America. And because of that, because we are shirking this type of responsibility, the people are going to suffer the most. Those who don't know, those who are lazy, those who don't want to learn, those who run around talking about they Salafi and don't want to learn Deen, still depending on translations and personalities. These people, all of these people are going to suffer, all of them, and it's going to get worse. You know how many sisters I see on Facebook right now? You know how many sisters I seen used to be Salafi on Facebook, and this past Christmas, Christmas had Christmas trees and the kids were celebrating Christmas. You know how many sisters I seen that on Facebook? I have over 3,000 people on my Facebook list. You know how many sisters I seen used to be Salafi, and the kids were celebrating Christmas, and these sisters are single and celebrating, and their kids celebrating Christmas. And some of these sisters were also in hijab. Yo, man, this stuff is it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. This stuff is not going to get better. And then if you have your Tulab al can't work together, if the Tulab al can't work together for the sake of the Deen, for the sake of Allah, if y'all can't work together, your people's going to suffer due to you not able to work together. And for those brothers saying, well, I'm trying to work with these people, they don't want to, you guys have to sit down and make a curriculum, Islamic curriculum, and a general education curriculum that's going to deal with the issues that Muslims are facing in America, not Salafis only, Muslims in general are facing, especially the convert community, especially the black community. Latino Muslims are doing this already, man. The Latino Muslim community, they be doing this. I'll be listening, I'll be following them, their imams and their du'as, whether they Salafi or not Salafi. I'll be following them on Facebook and stuff, man. These people were doing this in their community for their people. I best believe that they're doing it. The Arabs are doing that. The Arabs don't even have no debate about this stuff. Most Arabs who have shuyukh with them in America, have sheikh and shuyukh with them, and they love their sheikh, they doing this without questioning. They already have this stuff done. Matter of fact, some already have the fatwa committees and stuff like that here in America. If you're looking for a fatwa committee in America, you go and look online right now, you're going to find the Arab shuyukh that are from America, they have done this. And I could use the term shuyukh. It's proper to use this. Some of them have their doctorate and their PhD in Islamic degree. So they have their shuyukh who's doing it. Let me go. One of my kids' teachers texting me because my kids one of them be acting a fool. So I'm gonna go. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa shalla wa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. And if you want to hear more, just click like, subscribe, and inshallah I'm gonna talk more about this particular topic. Bismillah.